9 Years of Shadows is a vivid Metroidvania created by Halberd Studios. The game was released March 27th, 2023. 9 years ago, a curse spread across the land. Color vanished from the world, only leaving sorrow in its wake. That curse took everything away from Europa. With her parents gone and her body refusing to die from the curse, she would choose to rid the curse from the source. Exploring the castle, she would come across a horrific beast. A beast that would take her down with ease. But when all hope was lost, a ghost appears and tends to her wounds. With a kind embrace, colors burst into the castle, revealing interesting hues that time hasn't seen in forever. This is the start of Europa's adventure. In 9 Years of Shadows, Europa can really only jump and attack. You get light attacks and a heavy attack. Doing the light attacks into a heavy attack is what the game wants you to do in order to get bonus damage. Apino is your way of doing ranged magic and defending yourself. Apino can shoot light magic, and once you run out, Europa's real health pool will show, which the default is 2. In order to get your magic back, you have to hug Apino, or later on you'll be able to do a quick reload function. That will be your only way of getting your mana back in a pinch. You'll also come across a backdash upgrade along with a charge attack. Then, after that, you'll come across elemental armor, each having their own unique way of getting across the castle. And then between Europa and Apino, you'll find new skills that they will obtain. I've talked about this game before in my 10th demo festival, and I noted this game's HP system was extremely intriguing, especially with its decision making. Should you use your magic to deal more damage right now or not? Because if you don't, you'll be able to take more hits. It was that mechanic right there that made the game more interesting to play. When I got past the point of where the demo left off, I found myself cruising through my travels, fighting enemies and finding secrets as well. I enjoyed the locations that I visited, along with the music that accompanied it. For me, 9 Years of Shadows was a chill experience, and I like that. On that note, the art style and music are stellar. The art style is very easy to point out as a positive. It's amazing. Going through the game and seeing the different sections of the castle was a very pleasant experience for me. I didn't exactly have a favorite that I liked because I liked all of them equally. That sounds like a cop-out, I know, but I really do feel that way. Accompanied with the soundtrack, exploration has never been so relaxing to me. The gameplay also being easy to handle helps reinforce that opinion that I have on it. Although you might be thinking why I'm calling this game relaxing. Difficulty. 9 Years of Shadows is an easy game to me. Could I be some sort of god gamer? Yeah, most likely, but that's besides the point. It was very seldom that I had trouble in this game, and when I did, it was only on bosses. Well, only a few that I could think of. Does that mean that's a bad thing? Well, it depends. It's a double-edged sword. Do you want most of your interactions with most, if not all, the obstacles in the game, whether it be fighting or platforming, to challenge you? If your answer is yes, then this is gonna be a bad thing for you. If you're fine with easier games, then it's not. The difficulty also applies to whether or not you're experienced with the Metroidvania subgenre, because the more experienced Metroidvania players will most likely find this game too easy. And while I don't find myself to be an expert, well, there were still bosses that I completely destroyed. But I did like the spectacle. And those bosses that gave me trouble, I only need one hand to count them on. The Shadow of Demise boss, the optional boss, and the final boss. To me, they were a bit sharp spikes of difficulty in comparison to the rest of the game. Although, games being on the easier side as a whole isn't exactly a bad quality to have, because that can bring in beginners to the genre. What I could view as a letdown would be the lack of utilization of the armor. You get 3 different elemental armors within the game: water, earth, and fire. These armor sets will help you traverse the castle and fight color-coded monsters. In terms of platforming, you have the mermaid and phoenix, which are used fairly well, but the one I kind of felt like got the shaft a little bit was the serpent, which comes from the earth armor. As much as I hate these puzzles in other games, I was kind of surprised that I didn't see more of them. I think there are only like 2, maybe 3? If there are 3, I did one so easily I did not really consider it a puzzle. However, in terms of combat, besides the weaknesses the enemies have towards that armor, it's disappointing, because they're all the same. To me, if you took that color coding away, there's not much difference between the armors, besides traveling. Honestly, I think it would be pretty cool if they each had at least one unique property. For example, you can have the default armor that you have make you run slightly faster. The fire armor can put a dot on the enemy if you hit them enough times. The earth armor can have a charge attack, be a short burst of energy and give you a damage buff, or a defense buff. And with the water armor, instead of the backdash, we can have a dash attack where you thrust with your halberd in front of you, going through enemies. On bosses, this will give you a reason to switch between the armors, if they don't already have a weakness. There is also a terrible bug where if you died and pressed continue, it would crash the game. But they fixed that, so that's a non-issue for you players, should you jump into it now. And that's all I have to say about 9 Years of Shadows. If you want to try it yourself, the game is on Steam for $19.99, but that choice is yours. Although, I do think it's a game that is worth playing, in spite of its flaws. However, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. It would mean a lot if you did. And if you want updates on what I'm going to do next, please follow me on Twitter.